Today I'm going to talk about something that not everyone likes to hear. We talk a lot in relationships, of course, about love, how much we love our partners or our children or our parents or whoever it is. And what we don't talk about enough is whether or not we accept them. And this is really at the heart of how people feel loved. So there's often unconditional love. We will love them pretty much no matter what, that there's no wrong they can do that's great enough to break our love, for, let's say, for a child, or maybe even for a parent or someone else. Sometimes we have different rules for our partners, but what we don't realize is that when we don't unconditionally accept someone for who they are, they don't end up feeling loved by us. I'm going to say that again because it's really, really important. You have people in your life right now who you think you show love to all the time, but because you don't accept them for who they are completely, they don't feel it. And you had this yourself likely growing up, where you felt like some part of you wasn't accepted, wasn't good enough, wasn't okay, wasn't something. And so you doubted the love that people showed you. And you might have it in your relationship currently, that your partner is complaining about something about you. And I hear it all the time in my office. People will say, well, I know he or she loves me. I know they love me, but, and I hear that but. And the but always comes from not feeling completely accepted for who we are as people. Now, I want to be clear that making changes in a, let's say, a romantic relationship, or wanting different things for our children, or wanting more for them, or something like that, that's all great. Having goals and having ideas of how we'd like things are wonderful. But when we have those goals to the detriment of who people are as beings, of who they can be, that's when we get into trouble. So I'm working with someone right now whose son is really struggling in school, and she's a molecular biologist and she's published and she speaks all around the world. She's such a badass. But her son is really struggling in school, and he wants to go to a trade school when he gets out of high school, and he's even thinking of getting just a GED and then moving on to a trade school. And she's really fighting it. She's fighting it tooth and nail. She feels like he's not seeing enough for himself, not holding things and that he could have, that he's giving up. And what I've been talking about with her, it doesn't actually seem to me like he's giving up. He's super interested in a certain trade, and he's always been interested in it. It's woodworking. He's in carpentry. He's had this interest his whole life, and his dad is into some of that stuff, but it was really his grandfather who introduced it to him. And has always struggled kind of in school, since the beginning, has always kind of not really gotten there. And, over the years, there's been therapy and interventions and things, as she's thought it was because of her and the fact that, she's achieved so much, and that somehow maybe he's just not, seeing, like he's competing with her somehow. And because he's competing, he's opting out, because who can compete with this brilliant woman? And over the years, and I've worked with her over the years at different times, and I just said to her, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like this kid has a love of something. He'll get lost doing carpentry stuff. He's constantly talking about things having to do with how things look, how wood fits together, all kinds of stuff. And, this is his passion, the thing that he's most interested in. Whether or not it's a huge passion or not, I don't know, but, it's something he's really interested in and has been for quite some time. So we've been talking about getting this GED, and possibly, or just finishing high school, but understanding he's going right into this trade school is something really that's her, that's her issue with what she wants and what she has seen and the goals she has had for her child. So while I will tell you for sure that I struggle with my son and his schooling, so I get it, I'm there too, wanting certain things for him and wanting him to reach for things. But when you see a kid who does have passion for something, but it's just not what you have passion for, or who does feel strongly for something, it's just not what you feel strongly about, and that thing is not hurting them in some way. If you have a 12-year-old who feels passionate about video games, I would say, all right, let's temper that with something. Or if she's passionate about smoking pot, I would say, well, I don't know about that. These are things I think that might have long-term consequences that are hurting them, that you need to just take into account. And having said that, there's people who make a living off of video games. So it's really having to balance these things that we want with what the people around us want. And when we think about our partners, and again, these are fully formed adults. Who are they? Who is your partner? So yes, you can have goals that maybe they seem a little messier than you, and they're always, throwing things on the ground, and you want more. I don't know that I consider that not accepting them. I don't know, I'd have to hear more information. But I'm talking about people maybe who don't like to go out all the time. I have a couple I'm working with where he doesn't like to go out much and she's very social. And they've been trying to sort of change each other. One of them, to get the other one to stay home more, and the other one to get, the other one to go out more. And again, it's okay to want to do more together like that, but it's not okay to give a message that you don't accept who the person is and rejoice in that. I always say you don't want to love people despite their things you don't like. I want you to love them and embrace the things you don't like. Embrace that side. I've talked before about the fact that I have a lot of energy, and I'm like this all the time. And it can seem like a lot to people, like I take on too much, or I'm always saying yes and I want to do it all. And, people tend to like it when they like it and don't like it if they want me to slow down. And so I always say, unconditionally accept me for who I am. It doesn't mean that you don't ask for certain things or, bring me to task if I'm getting too far ahead of myself, but it does mean that you embrace it and you rejoice in the fact that I have all this energy, that this is who I am as a person. So I'm going to ask you to think of the people in your life right now and how you want to unconditionally accept them and how you want to show them that. And think for yourself how you feel when you feel unconditionally accepted, not just loved, but accepted by the people around you. And you'll see that it makes all the difference and really helps us to feel the love. That's it. I'm Dr. Abby Medcalf. I help people create lasting change in their relationships in a short amount of time. And I hope to see you over on my website, abbymedcalf.com. Have a great day.